All right, so we're going to start off with quickly going through some of the key features for Microsoft Word. So first thing is the app versus the web version. So what I have up here right now would be the web version. You access that from going to, I'm in Microsoft Edge right now. Again, that's um, the default kind of browser window that we really should be using here. I know a lot of people love Chrome. I do as well. But for work related stuff, it really just makes things a lot easier. So right now I'm in Edge. I'm clicking the waffle on the left-hand side, and I am going to click on Word. You can also access this by going to portal.office.com. And again, you're just signing in with your NASA BOCES credentials. So here I am in Microsoft Word on the web. If I open up a document, and you'll see here, these are some documents here that I was working on for the training. It looks similar to the desktop application, but it is not as comprehensive. It doesn't have all of the features right on the top ribbon like you're used to in the desktop application, but it's a great way to quickly go into a document that you may need to just quickly edit or update. And if you do open it in the web version, you can always drop down this editing icon right here and click open in the desktop application. So you do have the option to switch back and forth. So that's the web version. And now I'm going to open up the desktop application. I have some little stuff going on here, but I'll explain that in a minute. This is just a training document that I wanted to show you. So again, now I'm in the desktop application of Microsoft Word. This is just a brief overview of some features in Microsoft Word. Hopefully, even if you're used to working in Word all the time, that you've learned a little tidbit of new information today. So welcome to the ones that just popped in. All right, next up. So again, I'm in Microsoft Word, just a quick kind of layout overview. This is your ribbon up at the top. I really hope that you watched my last, or actually it was two What the Tech videos ago, where I discussed the quick access toolbar. And you can see that I have mine ready to go on the top here. It's actually under the ribbon, but kind of on top of the document. So I could always collapse that main ribbon that may be taking up a lot of my space and just use the quick access toolbar that I set up. If you did not catch that video, I highly recommend doing that because this quick access toolbar is really an awesome feature that you can set in any of the Microsoft apps like Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and you can even assign quick access tools to a specific document. So it's really, really nice, a really nice feature. Okay, so again, this is your ribbon or your toolbar, but they also have something called the mini toolbar. And you may notice that if you highlight text, this bar that pops up here would be called your mini toolbar. They're kind of, Microsoft is just trying to make it a little bit easier for you to access tools that you may need quickly if you're highlighting text, as opposed to you having to pop up into the ribbon to find what you need. So that would be your mini toolbar. There's always a bunch of different formatting styles they have here in Microsoft. And you know what? I just realized I skipped over templates, so I want to show you that real quick. So if I go back to my home page, or by just clicking File, they have something across the top. And this isn't, again, most Microsoft apps like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, they have templates for you. So they have some standard ones across the top, but if I click More Templates, they have a ton of templates here already set up, ready to go that you could just go in and edit. They have invoices, they have calendars, they have all of these different types of templates that you can search for, envelopes. I mean, really a whole bunch of different things. I think this is a great way to get started on a document without having to necessarily set up the entire thing from scratch. So definitely check out templates. And again, you could search for templates here. So, okay, just going back into here. All right. And moving on. So formatting styles. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do with formatting, designing, and themes when it comes to your Word doc. If you go up to in your ribbon, you could see here where it says styles. So you have different options here. And again, as I hover over them, you can see that the words are changing. And these set the different elements of your text, of your Word document, I'm sorry. So each element is set based off of this style that you're choosing here. If you just click this little drop down here, it gives you a ton more options. And then you also have the option to customize that style that you may have chosen by right clicking on the style that you chose and then just going to modify. You can choose to change the font, the color behind it, whatever would work better for you. You could do that as well. But this choosing this style will then keep that same format throughout your whole document, which is really helpful. So you don't have to always format each piece or each element every time you start a new page. So this is a really nice feature, styles. They also have something called themes. So if you go if you go to design, there's an option here for themes. So you can set a theme and you could see again, just hovering over each one, I can change that very quickly just by looking at all the ones that they have here that are available. You can also search or browse for more themes. So they do have a ton of options here. So for example, if I switched out to this one, then you can see here that all of these document formatting options also change. And then you can scroll across and see which one you like the best. So, and what's even nicer is you could go in and change the colors that are associated with that theme. So it really allows you to drill down and choose the right format style for your document. So I definitely highly recommend checking out the design tab and the different types of styles that are available. Sorry, my throat's a little raspy. This allergies have been crazy and I sound a little hoarse. Sorry about that. Okay. So next up, the search bar. This again, most Microsoft, sorry about that. Okay, most Microsoft applications have the search bar embedded at the top. This is so helpful because if there's an action or something that you're looking for and you can't find it, you can just search for it right in the search bar. When you go to the search bar and just click in it, it'll give you some recently used actions that you may have used in another document or another application. It'll give you some suggested actions. If you use OneNote, it'll pull in some suggested notes that you may want to use in your Word doc. You can even search for people here. And with that, you can share this document with them or see their contact card. So again, the search bar is a great way to try and find something that you're trying to do in any of the Microsoft apps without having to maybe go in and search it on Edge or in Google. You could do it right here and it'll show you how to do it, or at least show you where it is. Okay, we are moving on to some best practices. So first and foremost, you can see here that I am signed into my Microsoft application on the top right-hand side of the application that's open. You see my name and you see my profile picture. So, and it also says when I hover over it that I am signed in. Why would I want to do this? Well, if you are working on any type of file that you don't want to lose or have to recreate when you close out the application, you want to make sure that you're saved in, signed in. Signing in means that you're syncing and you will always have access to that document that you're creating. So I highly recommend that you're always signed into any of the applications that you're using and also ensuring that you have auto saved turned on. Definitely two very important features to keep a lookout for when you're working in any of your Microsoft applications from the desktop applications. Okay, working with images. I know for me, this has always been a pain point for me with Microsoft Word and working with images. A lot of times when I insert an image, I can't move it. It gets stuck in between. It moves my words all around in a wonky way. So I wanted to show you some of the different settings that you have when you do insert a picture. So right now you can see this picture I already inserted and formatted a little bit. I have the ability to move this image any which way I want. I can even only show part of the image if I wanted to do that. Rotate the image and be able to kind of drag it out and then just show that little piece if that's what I wanted to do. And I want to show you how to be able to do that. So if you go to Insert and then Pictures, they have a whole bunch of options here. You can insert a image or a picture you may have already stored on your device. Microsoft has a ton of stock images, or you can go to online pictures. So I'm just going to go to stock images and choose a random. The cutout people is very cool, by the way. Highly suggest checking that out. People have been using them for their avatars. So just something definitely fun to look into. You could see here that my picture that I just inserted, I can't move it because of the way it's currently formatted, and it's behind and it moved everything around. And so this is where I want to be able to fix this. So if you just click on this little icon that pops up, I always go with this bottom right um, option, which is to put the image in front of the text. It just allows me to now move it freely around the page wherever I want that to be. So now it pops it in front. I can now move this image anywhere I want on this page. I can resize it. Again, when you size an image, just a little side note, you always want to grab the corners to keep the right proportions of your image. You don't want to grab the sides because, as you can see, that changes the entire proportion of the way the image looks. And this is across any platform, anywhere, at any time that you're ever doing any work with images and you want to resize, please use the corner circles only to resize. Otherwise, you can see the distortion that occurs. So let's get her back to the way she was. And again, now I can move my image wherever I want. And you can then decide to come back into the settings and fix position on the page if you wanted to. So just going to move her down here so she's not in our way. And that would be how you work with images. Page setup, couple different things. You can, if you go to the layout tab, you have the option to set up your margins, all different types of ways, depending on, again, what you're creating. You can change the orientation of your page. Are you doing a portrait or a landscape? You can change the size. So if you're not working on a standard 8.5 by 11 document, you need to change the size of the page setup before you start working. Something else, another feature that I think is actually really cool, if you're working on something that is more like a newsletter style, or you need to create those type of columns on your document, this gives you the option to do that here. I suggest going into more columns and setting it exactly the way you want it. You can create a line in between. So if I chose 2 columns, I could choose to have a line inserted in between, and you can adjust the spacing here. So it's a really nice feature that Microsoft has embedded. All right, so now we're up to the Did You Know section. So what I think is great is, as a Did You Know, is they have something in the Insert tab called a cover page. So here, Microsoft gives you all of these awesome templates to use as a cover page option for your document. So for example, I want to insert this as a cover page. It goes right in front, right, of the document I was working on. It's nicely formatted, looks really pretty. I could change the title, right? I'm just editing what's already there. It really just gives you that nice kind of presentation-like look, depending on what type of document. But the cover page options are a lot, and they even have more if you go into more cover pages from office.com. Definitely a really nice feature. You can also see that I added a border around the edge of the document. So that's something else that you can do. And I will show you how to do that as well. See, even sometimes I have to search around. It is in design, sorry. Over here, that's page borders. Tons of different options here as well. Definitely could do that as part of your kind of setup in the beginning. They also give you the option to change the background of your page color. So if I wanted to change my page color to be any one of these colors, I can do that here. You can even get really fancy and go into like different type of gradients and textures as your background. I mean, a paper bag as your background, I don't know when you'd ever be using that, but who knows, right? You definitely have it as an option. So a lot of things here to choose from. Watermark I'll get to in a little bit. So, okay, so I showed you how to do the cover page. Oh, tables. I'm going to actually switch over to a different document to show you table formatting options. So this was one of the standard templates for an invoice. And I just wanted to show you that because it has a table embedded or inserted into the document, and this works for any time you insert a table, the table styles comes up. It gives you this nice option, and it's great because it's all of these different options already kind of formatted for you. You could just choose which one you like. So again, just by hovering over the different styles, you could see that automatically will change on the document. And I could just change the entire look of the table without having to manually go in and change the format myself. So it just a quick and easy way. And again, this drop down gives you all of these options, and you can always modify deeper and go more into the settings if you just come to the bottom over here. Alrighty. So let me just get that one out. I'm going back over here. Insert, shapes, tons of options here as well. And the formatting features that you can do with these is really great. Again, is this something you're going to use every single day, all the time? No. But the options like inserting an arrow that you may really want to point out in a document is a really nice feature. Again, it's treated like an image, so just make sure you have it in front of the text so you can move this wherever you may need to move it and rotate it, right? You can point it wherever it needs to point. And all of these options up here for formatting the shape styles make things very, very unique and really pretty to look at. So I definitely recommend checking that out. You can even drill down further into these different effects. You can fill the shape with a different color. You can even fill the shape with a picture. It really allows you a lot of creativity. Shape outline and shape effects. So they have a ton of options for you here. All right, going back to the insert. Here you can insert a header and a footer for your documents. If you do that, you can choose if that header is going to be on every page, if it's going to start on the first page or the second page, and same thing for the footer. You also have the option to add page numbers, and you can choose the style and how that looks and where it's going to sit. Microsoft gives you a ton of options there as well for inserting page numbers. All right, back to the home button for a second. I want to point your attention to dictate. This is great. This is voice to text. So if you turn this on and see if it works while I'm on here and I start talking, it will text into or will type into the document. Let's see if it does that. I may have not given it space to do that. Let's see. Oop, moving my lady around. I'm going to insert a blank page, move her back over here, and let's see. I want to just make sure that this is on. And I'm going back to home and dictate, testing this out. Why is this not working? Oh, it is. Woohoo! Okay, so again, this is great. If you have a lot of things in your mind that you just want to get down into the document, this is your best and easiest way to do it. Think about meeting notes or preparation for a meeting or just, kind of getting the brainstorming thoughts out of your head and putting them onto the paper. This is a great way to do it. So that's an option. With that, you have immersive reader as well that is also in a bunch of all the Microsoft apps. Immersive reader or read aloud, again, will read the document to you. And I'm kind of going to go a little bit fast through the rest of it because I'm looking at the time already. Oh my gosh, how did this time fly? Immersive reader and immersive reader and read aloud will give you the option for the document to be read to you as opposed to dictate where you're dictating your voice and it's typing it out for you. You also have the option for editor. Editor is going to give you spelling, grammar, and refinement options for your document and translate. So you could translate a document that either you received and you need to translate or vice versa. Translate the selection using whatever language you need to translate that document into in order to maybe share it out. So another really nice embedded feature within Microsoft Word. All right, back to the home button. I'm going to go to View, and I want to show you the ability to view different options. So because I have a bunch of different Word documents open, I need to be able to see them all together on my screen. So you can do that by going to View Side by Side. And you can see now I could see these here. This is a little bit kind of a wonky way to look at it, but if I split, oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry about that. I want to remove the split and I want to arrange all. It should do it. Did it do it? Okay. Sorry, this is not doing what I wanted to do. So anyway, I don't want to waste time in it, but this is how you can see your documents side by side if you're working on more than one document. So that's really, it might be because I'm sharing my screen that it kind of popped it this way, but you can actually split it. Let me see. There we go. Well, that looks a little bit better. Not exactly what I like, but you could play with the settings here and be able to arrange the view and make it the way you like it to be able to see the documents that you're working with at the same time, which is a nice way, a nice option. Okay, let me get out of that. Hyperlink. Okay, couple ways you could do that. Insert. You could go to insert and then a link here. Now, it can insert a link to any recent items that you may have had open, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, any Microsoft applications, but you can also insert a link for a YouTube video, any of those type of things. So if you type out the text, so I always recommend doing that first with the tech, and then I highlight that. You can even click here and then go to insert link. So it's going to ask you a bunch of different questions. If you're just inserting a link from a web page, this is where you would insert that link. So let me just grab something real quick. If I just grab this and we go back, I'm going to paste that in. And that's how. Why I like doing it like this is because instead of seeing that long, ugly kind of URL address in my document, now I just see the title, which is really nice and a little bit more streamlined and easier to look at. And this way, when people click on that, they know exactly what they're clicking into, right? Instead of just this long URL that they may not know what they're clicking into. So I highly suggest you doing your hyperlinks like that. Another way you can insert videos is by, and I'm going to just pop open YouTube real quick so I can grab a YouTube link. So you can get any YouTube video link or any other video platform link, get a URL for it, paste it in, and then go to insert. And you could see here, the video itself got inserted directly into my document, and I can play that right here, which is, again, really nice feature. I could even format that video screen just to make it look a little nicer, turn it into a circle. You have all these options here, very similar to when you bring in an image or a picture, right? I can move that around. I could put it on the main cover page, really whatever you want. You can make it bigger, smaller. So another way to embed a video. That's actually really nice to look at. The watermark and comments are the last two things, and then I'm going to zip it and see if anybody has any questions. So back to design and then watermark here. Again, they have a ton of different options for you. So if you're working on a draft and you want to put that in the background of your document, it'll automatically insert that for you. But you can really go in and edit and customize, which is nice. I usually do that. It's not going to allow me to do that on the cover page. So I want to customize a watermark. You can select your own image. You could do your own text watermark, and you can choose where it would be as well located on the page. So watermarks are nice to kind of just sit behind everything on the documents. And the last thing is comments. This is a great way to collaborate if you're working on a document with people and you have questions, right? You highlight, and again, that mini toolbar pops up. You could even put a click on new comment right there. You can mention people. Sorry, Cliff, you're my go-to all the time. I can say, does this look good? Right? And I can assign that to him. He will get an email, and those comments will then sit on this right-hand side navigation pane, and I could always click them off or click them on. So again, just a great way to collaborate with people and staff on different documents. Okay, I'm going to zip it. I'm going to go back and find you guys and allow you to turn on cameras and stuff.
Right. While you're doing that, Theresa, just a quick note. I have to leave for my 1
Yes.
o'clock meeting. So.
Yep, no worries. I'm just
Thank
going
you.
to, thank you. All right, guys, just give me 1 second. I'm going to go in and give you the option. I don't see any questions in the chat, so that's good. I talked really fast. Okay, and save. All right, you should have the option to unmute or turn on your camera, either one if you want to. You have questions or just want to say hello or goodbye, that's fine too. I'm going to stop sharing my screen as well. I hope you picked up something that you may not have known or seen before. Again, I try to do these webinars in a half an hour chunk, but it's so hard. There's so many things to go over. So I'm sorry if I talk so quickly. But I hope you got something out of it. Thank you guys for coming. Some of you are my return customers, so thank you so much. Spread the word. The next What the Tech Talks webinar is on the, what are we at? This is the 10th. The next one's on the 31st. And yes, the videos are always archived and saved on not only our YouTube channel, but on my section of the website. So they're always there for reference. The video for, hold on, let me go back. Let me get into the chat and see what you guys are. Yes. So the video for this recording, yes, is going to, like I said, be on my website. Ray usually gets it up by the end of the day. If not, tomorrow should be there. We have the webinar playlist. Let me just throw that into the chat so you have the link directly. And again, all of the webinars that I've done are recorded and housed here. No problem, Ellen. Thanks for coming. I'm glad that you guys got some tips you didn't know about. That's kind of what I love about just doing a quick overview, because there's so many fun features in all of these apps that even I, as I'm kind of researching for my training, even I uncover some great things that I didn't know about. So I always like to share that stuff, make everybody's life easier, then I'm all about it. But anyway, again, I'll hang out here if anybody has questions. Otherwise, thank you all so much. Spread the word again about the webinars, and I will see you soon. And if anybody needs a one-to-one meeting with me, don't forget, you could always schedule those as well. Have a great day.